Yo, what's going on, everybody? You are watching Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, we're talking about how the Vikings can create almost $60 million in cap space for this upcoming 2026 free agency period. And right now, the Vikings are actually $40 million in the hole. So we're going to have a $100 million swing coming up on today's show. But before we dive into it, if you guys could, hit that thumbs up icon today. We're trying to set a Chat Sports record for the most likes on a video this week. So help me out here, help me look good for my bosses, and help me beat all those other Chat Sports channels out there and go down there and smash that thumbs up icon. All right, we're going to start off today's show talking about some restructuring of some of the big name players on this Vikings team. We're going to start off here with Justin Jefferson. Now, if the Vikings restructure Justin Jefferson's contract, push the money down the road, they can create $18 million in cap space. So we'll do that with number 18. Then also number 58, Jonathan Grenard, or the Vikings restructure him and creating $12.95 million in extra cap space. Then we'll kick it to Byron Murphy, the cornerback, and you can restructure him and create $11.32 million in cap. Now, I think the Vikings, obviously there's a lot of cut candidates and there's a lot of trade guys potentially on this team, but I think the Vikings, they'll probably just restructure these three guys because it's that easy. I mean, if you just restructure Gennard, Jefferson, and Byron Murphy, right there, the Vikings are already in the green. They are having right now, if you made those three moves, $2.28 million against the cap this upcoming year. So simple as that. Restructure those three guys. They're in the green, and now let's create some more cap space. Now we're going to start off here with running back Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is great for the Vikings this past season. Showed some flashes in some key spots, but I just think with his age and his injury history, it's not worth to bring him back, and you save $7.75 million. So if you cut him, you're up to $10 million in free agency spending. TJ Hawkinson. Now, you could restructure TJ Hawkinson and save $13 million, but I still think it's beneficial just to make him a post-June 1 release where you save $16 million. That is huge, and that gets the Vikings to $26 million. Now, this would obviously leave a hole at the tight end position with pretty much just Josh Oliver and Gavin Bartholomew behind him. So you'd have to go out there, sign another tight end, draft a guy maybe on day 2 of the NFL draft, or maybe if the Vikings love Kenny and Sadiq enough, they just take him at pick number 18. But right there, cut Aaron Jones, cut TJ Hawkinson, you're at $26 million. Now, Ryan Kelly, I think the Vikings will probably elect to cut him. Obviously, same can be said about Kelly. If you cut him, there's a glaring hole at the center position on this offensive line. But then just like that, you're at $34.39 million. And how about Javon Hargrave? I think he is going to be released as well. You would save $11 million, and you're all the way up to $45.39 million in free agency money. Now we kick it back to the offensive line. You could extend Brian O'Neill. That saves $14.1 million. And then the updated cap, you're at $60 million. So all of those moves, none of them are that crazy. Like restructuring Jefferson, that should be easy one. Same with Grenard. Same with Brian Murphy. And then Aaron Jones, TJ Hawkinson, Ryan Kelly, Javon Hargrave. All of those guys can be cut. And then if you also just extend Brian O'Neill, that's an easy move to make too. So you could just do all those moves, get the $60 million in cap space. So I think that's pretty ideal for the Minnesota Vikings with where they're set right now. You got to go bring in more talent. You got to get younger, more athletic on this roster. And just those moves can get the Vikings right there, the $60 million in cap. So you guys let me know, who are you cutting? Name a player the Vikings should cut. I think the easiest one here is TJ Hawkinson just because the cap savings of $16 million. So that would be the name I would drop down in the comments section. But you guys let me know. Name a player the Vikings should cut. All right, coming up next. Well, if the Vikings do create $60 million in money to spend during free agency, how should they spend it? We'll dive into 3 big-name targets here in just a second. But let me tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, and that is Factor Meals. Now, if you guys head to factormeals.com/VikingsChat50 off and plug in promo code VikingsChat50 off, we'll hook you guys up with 50% off your first Factor box, plus free breakfast for 1 year. Now, if you guys want to eat better, but you have 0 time and 0 energy to make it happen, Factor doesn't ask you to meal prep or follow recipes. It just removes the entire problem. 2 minutes, real food, done. Factor is already made by chefs, designed by dietitians, and delivered to your door. And all you got to do is heat it for 2 minutes and eat. Lean proteins, colorful vegetables, whole food ingredients, healthy fats, the stuff you'd make if you had the time. And I love Factor because it's got no refined sugars, no artificial sweeteners, and no refined seed oils. And they have over 100 rotating meals every week. high protein, calorie smart, GLP-1 support, and ready to eat salads. So head to factormeals.com/VikingsChat50 off. Plug in that promo code VikingsChat50 off. Get hooked up with 50% off your first Factor box plus free breakfast for 1 year. This offer is only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Make healthier eating easy with Factor. All right, first big name free agent target for the Vikings. We're going to talk about linebacker Devin Lloyd. Now, Devin Lloyd's going to be talked about by every single team's fan base this offseason, but there are some reports out there that he wants to return to Jacksonville. So Jacksonville, even though they're strapped up against the cap, they could be looking to move some money around and give Devin Lloyd a payday that he deserves. Now, right now, Spotrac is projecting him to have a 3-year, $60.4 million contract this offseason, which is a lot of money. I mean, $20 million per year for a linebacker is a lot to pay. Is he worth that? I think this is a little overpriced. I would probably prefer him at that $15 to $18 million range compared to $20 per year. But again, this contract comes down to the guarantees. Like if it's 3 for $60, but like $35, $40 million of it's guaranteed, I would have some interest in that because if it doesn't work out, you could just end up cutting him. But this guy had a monster year this past season. He's truly a playmaker, and I think the Vikings could benefit from a true playmaker at the second level of their defense because they have some playmakers on the D-line. You need a playmaker in the secondary as well. But on that second level, next to Blake Cashman, if you had Devin Lloyd there, that's a hell of a pickup for this Vikings defense. This guy had a pick 6 against Patrick Mahomes, 81 tackles, 6 TFLs, 7 PBUs, had 100-plus tackles the 3 years prior. So watch out for a guy like Devin Lloyd. Would have a lot of interest in bringing him to Minnesota if the price is right. All right, well, if the Vikings do have $60 million to spend in free agency, why not add another guy to your offensive line? And why not add the best center in the damn National Football League, and that being Tyler Linderbaum. Now, Tyler Linderbaum, still in the prime of his NFL career, 25 years old. I still fully expect the Ravens to try to get a deal done with him. Clearly, him and Lamar Jackson, obviously, best friends. They have a great connection there in Baltimore, but Spotrac is having him sign a 4-year, $72 million deal. A lot of money, but it's worth it. Because could you imagine if you had Darisaw, O'Neal, you got your guards in Fries and Jackson, and you had Tyler Linderbaum? That is one of the best offensive lines in the league because this guy's an absolute badass. This guy's a mauler in the run game. He's a really, really good pass protector as a center. His PFF grades are ridiculous this season. An 83.2 run blocking grade, 79.4 overall. I believe he was first in the National Football League out of all eligible centers this past season. He was 5th overall. So still, really solid stuff from Linderbaum. One of the better centers in the league, and he would just create one of the better offensive lines in Minnesota. Now another defensive guy here, Jamel Dean, 29 years old. Jamel Dean's a hell of a player. Really, really good ball hawk as well. Can turn the football over. I think the Vikings need more guys like that, especially after the year Murphy and Isaiah Rodgers had. But Spotrac has him sign a 3-year, $37.4 million deal. I think that's a little low. I think he's probably going to get more than that. Maybe around 3 for $45 would probably be the ballpark, I would guess. But if he's available for 3 for $37, Vikings should do this in a heartbeat. He is definitely up there, in my opinion, as one of my dream free agent targets for the Vikes. Really good in coverage. Could be another guy on the back end of this defense that could play some high-level football. And I want the Vikings this offseason, the number one goal, obviously you got to find that quarterback, but lean into Brian Flores. Lean into this defense. Get more dogs in that side of the field. And Jamel Dean, he fits that bill 100%. But you guys be the GM for me. Name a free agent the Vikings should sign. Drop that down below in the comments section. You guys let me know your thoughts, and we'll get on out of here. As always, SKOL Vikes.